Hello, today is Sunday, April 19th, and welcome to episode 29 of Knits and Stuff. My name is Alicia, and today I'll be talking about works in progress, pretty things, local delights, and that's it. First, welcome to those of you that are new, and for those of you that are returning, thanks for coming back. If you haven't already, there's a group in Ravelry that you can join. It's called the Knits and Stuff Podcast. And I'll put a link in the show notes, which are at knitsandstuff.wordpress.com. So let's get started. Works in progress. I am still working on those two shawls. The first one is the Winter Sea Shawl by Liz Abenante. This is out of Verb for Keeping Warm Clover in the colorway Beach Glass. I'm knitting it on US 6s, 4.0 millimeters. And this is about as far as I got since the last time I showed it, which is not that far, but now that the rows are getting significantly longer, it's taking a little bit longer to get through, but I finished the first half of the first ball of yarn that I was going to use, so I have a second one that I can cast or start. I only have this little piece. I barely made it to the end, so I'll add this new skein to it and then hopefully get through the rest of it. So I'm halfway, but it's going to feel longer now that it's going to take longer to get through those rows, but yeah, that's coming along. And then the other shawl that I'm working on is the Hitchhiker, and that's this one. And this is out of Miss Babs Yazoo Skein in First Dibs. And let's see if I can, there we go. So I think I was a little bit further than where this marker is. I think I forgot to move it. But I have gotten through quite a bit of the skein now, and and this is, so it's Hitchhiker by Martina Bem, and I'm knitting it on US 7s, 4.5 millimeters, because I'm using worsted weight instead of the fingering weight, which is what the pattern calls for. So I'll have a nice nice big shawl to wrap around. It'll be nice and warm, but probably not needed as spring has started, and it's gonna be warmer now than it would be. But it's actually been kind of chilly in the morning, so if I finish it soon, I might still be able to wear it, maybe. So this is how much I have left, which is still kind of a bit. I think I'm about halfway on this one too. So yeah, and I'm probably going to be casting on something new soon. But I'll talk about that in Pretty Things. And that's all of the knitting that I worked on. No socks this time either, but just shawls and more spinning. So I got through the full bullseye bump from Loop, and that's what it looks like at the end. So I'm going to, this is just the single, and then I'm gonna chain ply it into a 3-ply. And so this is the Loop Bullseye Bump. I spun it on my Ladybug, and the colorway is Seriously Sorry, and it has some purples and greens and pinks that go through, and it's a long stripe, and it has pieces of Sorry in it, which are those little chunks that you can see. So yeah, I didn't have to split the fiber into 2 bobbins, even though each shacked bobbin is supposed to hold about 4 ounces. It's sometimes you can squeeze on a little more, so this was about 5 ounces. And yeah, but when I ply it, I'll probably have to ply it on the larger bobbin. So yeah, that is one spinning, and then I started a new spinning project. So this is some silk, and it's really thin. Oh look, you can kind of see it. it's they're abstract fiber silk hankies, and I'll show you them in a second, but this is what it looks like on the spindle, and it's really shiny. And it's on one of my lighter drop spindles. It's a 2-inch shack spindle, and that's kind of the rest of the fiber, and it's showing up on camera a little bit brighter than it would be. The color is kind of the color on the spindle is probably closer than yeah, that looks a little better against my hand, but yeah, it's kind of this deep pink color, and the colorway is called Raspberry. So let me show you the hankies. So they came in, oh, this is the label, the silk hankies from Abstract Fiber, and they came in a little bag. It's 1/2 ounce, and this is what the hankies look like. Also way brighter than what it actually is. So you can kind of see the layers of all of those silk hankies, and you just pull off one by one and spin it, and it takes a little getting used to. I've only done one hanky, or that was the first one that's on the bobbin, but it has a really long staple length, or length of the individual fibers, so it kind of is difficult to draft, but yeah, it's new to me, so it's interesting. But the color is really pretty. Also not showing up. I wonder if I can get it to, no, I can't. It's not as bright as this, but it's a pretty raspberry color. So yeah, that's coming along, and it's not sticking to me as much as I had expected it to, because sometimes with the silk fiber it just gets stuck on every little thing. So yeah, so that's what I've been spinning, and that's all my works in progress. So that brings us to pretty things, and I haven't had pretty things in a while, so it's kind of exciting that I do have something, and I also have something on the way, so I'll have pretty things for next time too. But Miriam and I went to a yarn store in Lafayette, California. It's called the Yarn Boutique, and it's in Lafayette, in their downtown area, I guess. I think the place is called Fiesta Square, La Fiesta Square, something like that. So they've been there for a while, I think like over 20 years, or something. Maybe I was reading a different one. No, I think it's, yeah, they've been there for like over 20 years, and they have quite a lot of inventory, but a small space. So it can be hard to find things, but it's the owner is really nice, and it's a cute store. So if you're in Lafayette and looking for a yarn store, there's one in the area. So anyway, I got some Malabrigo Mechita or is it Mechita? I don't know. In the colorway Pearl, and this is what it looks like. And it's a lot like Madeline. Well, I got this another colorway in or from Stitches West, and it's actually a lot like Madeline Tosh Light, Merino Light. So, and you get the same amount of yardage too. It's 420, right? 420 yards about. So, and I got this because Miriam picked it out, and she is hoping for, I think we're gonna make, or I'm gonna make her a shawl out of this, and yeah, so this will be a gift for her. But yeah, pretty things. It's really pretty color, nice gray and with a hint of purpley kind of, very pearly. So yeah, that is pretty things. And that would bring us to local delights. So speaking of Lafayette, there is a recreational area south of the freeway in Lafayette. It's called the Lafayette Reservoir, and there are a lot of people that go there. There were a lot of dogs. We saw so many dogs when we were there. But they have trails that you can walk around there. There's not too many trails that you would find like in Tilden or Redwood Park, but there are a couple, and one of them is paved, which I guess Miriam likes better. And that paved trail goes around the reservoir, and it's about 2.7 mile loop. And then there's an unpaved trail called the Rim Trail, and that's about 4.5 miles, I think. And it's pretty nice there, and it was not too warm in the morning, at least this time of year. So we went twice around the 2.7 mile loop around the reservoir, but we didn't go on the other one. But it's a good walk and or run if you. We ran for a little bit, but we mostly walked, and it's a little hilly too. So I think the shorter loop is more up and down, but not as much, and then the Rim Trail goes up pretty steadily and then down pretty steadily. So yeah, if you're in the area looking for a place to go for a walk and see a lot of dogs, that's one place to go. Parking lot fills up pretty quickly in the morning on the weekends, so good to get there early. And although it empties out pretty quickly too, or at least when we were there, so yeah. And you can always get a day parking pass too, and there's plenty of spots there. But oh, and they have a little play area for kids, and you can rent out the space in the grass area, I think, or there's like picnic tables, and you can rent out the area. So if that's something that sounds like a good place for a kids party, or I don't know, it seems like a nice place to go. So if you're in the area, Lafayette Reservoir is a good place for a walk or for any of that other stuff. So yeah, then that's it for Local Delights. It looks like we have another short show today, so I will plan to record again in 2 weeks. Yeah, so getting on a good schedule. Social media stuff, I'm Eliana Knits on Ravelry and Unperfect529 on Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, anything else. Yeah, and there's a group on Ravelry you can join, and that's about it. I hope you guys have a good week, good 2 weeks until I see you next. Enjoy the nice weather. Hopefully you guys don't have allergies like I do, because I'm dreading when they are gonna start up. So, but other than that, it's nice to have the extra light during the day. So, more knitting time. Not that you can't knit when it's nighttime either, but yeah. So have a good 2 weeks, and I will see you guys then. Bye!